Is it really possible for a tiny tweak to your morning coffee routine to ignite your metabolism and put your body into full fat-burning mode for the rest of the day?
Check out the link in the video description now and transform your morning coffee into a metabolism-boosting super drink.
Matthew Perry had been romantically involved with Charlie Sheen's ex-wife, who is now being investigated over the Friends star's drug death, our channel has been told. It was reported earlier this week that Brooke Mueller, 46, had been questioned multiple times after police executed a search warrant at the sober living facility where she is living in May. Officers probing Perry's death from ketamine in October last year are said to have taken an iPhone and laptop belonging to Mueller, and she is said to have hired legal representation. It was claimed that Perry and New York-born actress Mueller had met in rehab and formed an unlikely friendship. But the Friends star's ex-girlfriend and former assistant Katie Edwards revealed that Perry was romantically involved with Mueller almost 20 years ago after they met in Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. Mueller did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Edwards, 48, exclusively told our channel, "Brooke dated Matthew in 2006, at around the time I first started hanging out with Matthew. They definitely did not first meet initially in rehab. We all met in AA in 2006. She and I were seeing him at the same time. There was no girlfriend and boyfriend relationship. We just dated. He would take me out on dates and he would take her out on dates. It was kind of like this thing, like, are you going out with Brooke tonight?" It was back and forth between her and I, but they were definitely romantically involved. She was like my rival. I knew of her and I'm sure she knew of me. We were hanging out with Matthew, dating him, and it wasn't really a big deal. It was probably a 3-month thing because that's what him and I were. Him and Brooke and me, and he never went out publicly and looked romantic. It was always in his house. In Touch first reported on Tuesday that Mueller has been questioned in connection with Perry's death. The following day the same outlet quoted Charlie Sheen's lawyer Gregory J. Pedrick, who played down Mueller's connection to the case. "Brooke dated Matthew in 2006, at around the time I first started hanging out with Matthew," Pedrick said. "I believe Ms. Mueller's past choices may have put her in a position to provide some anecdotal background to the authorities investigating Mr. Perry's death. Nothing more." In the immediate aftermath of Perry's tragic death at 54 in a jacuzzi at his home in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood of LA, Edwards said she believed he had suffered a relapse in his addiction to drugs. When it was confirmed in December that she was right, she called for his doctors to be investigated. Edwards, who is the granddaughter of Hollywood legend Julie Andrews and currently runs a horse rescue in Yucca Valley, California, worked as an assistant for Perry in 2010 and 2011. She last spoke to her former lover and employer after his memoir Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing was published in November 2022. She believes Perry and Mueller, who was married to Sheen from 2008 to 2011 and shares 15-year-old twins Max and Bob with him, may have linked up again after that because he never told her about it. "Back in 2010 when I started working for Matthew, I even asked about her and if he still talked with Brooke and what he thought about her being with Charlie," she explained. "He said it didn't surprise him because that was who she was. She wanted to hook up with an actor with money, so it didn't surprise him. That's what she wanted, that lifestyle of being married and having kids with an actor, and I don't think Matthew was ever going to give that to her. At that time he said he didn't talk to her, so they must have reconnected more recently, in the last 2 years or so I would guess. She was sober when she was dating Matthew in 2006 because he was sober at that time. It's possible that after Charlie she went off the rails and they reconnected in rehab. I guess I never asked, but if they were hanging out I'm pretty sure he would have said, 'Guess who I ran into?'" While it is still not clear what police have asked Mueller about in connection to Perry's death, Katie says he had a track record of asking others to deliver drugs to him. "Here's the bottom line, Matthew was very persuasive," she said. "When he was in active addiction he would make out that it wasn't a big deal. In my mind it was like,